All right, let's talk about the very important topic of door knocking versus cold calling and which one actually produces more results.
This is your first day in real estate, and I am your real estate sales trainer and coach, James Festini. And this is the program that's going to teach you how to sell more real estate in less time.
Oh, where's the zoom on here? There it is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I want to thank you for joining me. I got to speak up a little bit. This is a on the road, on the go cast. People are like, oh my God, this guy's got a selfie stick. Yeah, I brought my selfie stick just so that I could broadcast this content here. So you're welcome. All right, so what are we talking about right now? I want to talk today about door knocking versus cold calling. The pound for pound potential for door knocking versus cold calling. I want to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, this is one of my most asked questions, and one that I, for some reason, have managed to avoid sharing the answer with you. I don't know why. Maybe I've said it before. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I want to thank you for joining me. I just finished up a door knocking session. Probably hit about 80 doors. I don't know. We'll know at the end of the day. It is the winter season, as you know, if you've been watching my content lately or listening to my content. For those of you who watch me on YouTube, if you don't have time to watch me, I have a podcast. Go to iTunes, I think iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Spreaker, I think Spotify might be getting it, maybe even Google Play Music. Wherever you listen to podcasts, I'm there. Just search James Festini. And this content that I do in video, I do it in audio also. So you're welcome. Save you some time. Take me to the gym. All right, that's the housekeeping. All right, let's talk about the very important topic of door knocking versus cold calling and which one actually produces more results. In my opinion, pound for pound, per hour, door knocking is far more effective. Per hour, door knocking is far more effective than telephone prospecting. Now, there's a lot of variables on that. Who are you calling? Where are you knocking? If you are knocking, I've noticed like some days are better than others. Some times are better than others. Some people are like, when's the best time to knock? I don't have that answer because there is no best time to knock. There's a worst time to knock, and that is in the dark or never. So there is a worst time to knock, but best time to knock, just any time. I can say that based on my very, very accurate data tracking that, let me check my map. I walked pretty far today. Based on my very accurate data tracking, that if you go out and you knock on 100 doors, you are going to find that for every 100 doors you knock, 25 are going to open. How many hours does it take to knock on a door will depend on how far the doors are apart. I've got people in New York who can bang out 100 doors in 2 hours because they're just like boom, boom, boom. I've got people in Kentucky. So it's about lot size. My average lot size right now is about 6,000 to 7,000 square feet. So when you have a 6,000 to 7,000 square foot lot, you have less. I'm definitely lost. When you have less doors to knock, you actually have the possibility, or if you have less distance to travel in between the doors, then you are able to get a lot more doors done. Let's see if it's over here. Can you believe I'm lost? I think it's over here. This is a good backdrop, right? Okay, so pound for pound, the doors are undisputed heavyweight champion. Per hour, I generate more leads by the door than the phones in my territory. Individual results may vary based on time of day. Now, here are the restrictions based on the phone, based on the doors. The phone has a do not call list. The doors do not. The phones, ladies and gentlemen, the phones, if you went out and you tried to say, let's take this neighborhood right here behind me, and let's take, say there's 1,000 homes. There's way less than that, but let's just say there's 1,000 homes behind me. And you go in and you try to find the telephone numbers for those 1,000. I think I'm still lost. Oh no, my car has to be here somewhere. Man. Okay. So you take 1,000 homes and you go into whatever software program you use to generate telephone numbers. And you will find that there's probably maybe 2 out of 10. 20% of those homes will have a telephone number. So 200 telephone numbers will be available for you to download and make a phone call to. Meaning that out of 1,000 homes, you will be able to dial 200 of those telephone numbers. Now the problem with that is, you scrub it against the do not call list. Now you're no longer talking 200 telephone numbers. The do not call list is guilty of assassinating 50% in my territory and in most territories I know. So you slice 50% off of your telephone prospecting list, and now you're dealing with 100 telephone numbers. 100 telephone numbers for 1,000 calls. Hey, I found my car. So we take those 1,000 telephone numbers, or 1,000 doors, you slice it down, and now you have 100 phone numbers. You're only reaching 10%. And now we're talking about, let's pick up the phone. Now you got 100 telephone numbers. Let's pick up the phone and call them. The pickup ratios, based on my accurate analysis and universally acceptable, based on what I can see the universe of telephone prospecting enduring, it is about 6% pickup ratio. With a 6% pickup ratio, now you're talking, you got 100 phone numbers, but only 6 people pick up the phone. What? That is 6. Yeah, okay, think about it. Is that math? Does that math add up? Now I'm kind of like stumped. Can it be true? Does that mean that for every 1,000 homes, you will only talk to 6 people? Out of 1,000 homes, you'll talk to 6 people? So what kind of business is that you're running? A local or a long distance? Yeah, I mean, that would make sense, right? So if you want to go into a neighborhood and you want to telephone prospect and pick up the phone and speak to the residents of that city or the residents of the neighborhood, if you're in a neighborhood of 100,000, you may only have 6,000 for phone numbers to access, right? Is my math screwed up? Maybe not. I mean, that seems to be what I'm thinking here. I'm trying to do math on the go. I can't even do math when I'm sitting still, by the way. Not the big numbers. So we have a quandary, a dilemma, a problem to solve here, and that is, how many contacts do you need to make to generate a listing, to generate a sale, to generate a conversation? It begins 1 with a conversation, 2 with a presentation, 3 with a sale, right? And a closing. So if it's simplified down to 1, 2, 3 steps, it's all about the ability to speak to individuals directly. Now here's another problem with door knocking versus cold calling. You will never run out of doors. If you're even if you're in a beast mode lead gen prospecting challenge format like I'm doing, where I'm doing 100 doors a day and 100 contacts by phone every day, right? That's my minimum. How long do you think it takes before I run out of telephone numbers in a geographical territory when I'm limited to 100 numbers for, 1,000 people? Right? Think about it. So I have to expand my geographical territory to call a farther distance to get the business, the traffic. Now, when you get business at a long distance like that, there's a downfall, and that is that you'll not be able to work that market as much, right? I've said it before, and I think I've done a video on it, the diminishing return on your motivation when it comes to landing a listing that's outside of your comfort zone. You totally have it, you got the contracts, it's an escrow, but when it comes to like doing an open house, when it comes to like closing on the buyers, It really depends on how far you're going out geographically before you're like, I don't really feel like, you know what I mean? You'll get an up call and you're like, oh, that's that listing way out there. Yeah, I'll call them. Yeah, I'll get them. But when it comes to like open houses, when it comes to generating door knocking, it goes outside of your sphere of interest or outside of your sphere of intense interest. So door knocking versus cold calling. Door knocking remains inside of your sphere of intense interest, meaning the location between your home and your office and your kid's school and your dry cleaner and your whole sphere of social networking, your sphere of recognition. Listen to those two together. Your sphere of intense interest and your sphere of recognition are one and the same. They exist in a geographical region that you are trying to become well known, to become popular, to become the go-to agent. In the beginning of your career, or like me, if you parachute into a new town, time is your only enemy with these things. You're trying to get as many leads as you possibly can and generate as many sphere of influence, past clients, generate that sphere of recognition so that at some point when you do make the call or when you do knock the door, they're like, oh, James, it's possible. It's a lot of work though. It's a lot of work or a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. You can spend a lot of money to get recognized. Hell, if you take a 5,000 person farm and mail to them once a month, maybe by the end of the year they'd know who you were if they ran into you at the local dry cleaners or at the maybe within a year. Now, if you mail to them every 2 weeks for a year, I'd say within a year they'd know who you are. You might even get calls saying, dude, stop sending me junk, right? Who knows? But that would probably be one of the only calls that you would get. I'm not a big fan of mailers, if you haven't noticed. Not that I don't do direct mail. I do the direct mail. I do direct mail to the people that I generate as a lead who says that they might be interested in selling. That's my direct mail. So I do maybe 50, 100 mailers a week. But they're not just blindly mailing to renters and homeowners who would, if I met them at the door, say, you're taking me out feet first. Why would you do that? That's insane. So door knocking versus cold calling. I was out door knocking today and I had a real estate agent. She was sitting on the lawn and she goes, oh, I'm an agent too. Good for you for door knocking. Every agent always goes, good for you for door knocking. I had one who was like, really? You're door knocking? As if I was doing like something dirty. But you know they're jealous. They're just like, there's no way I would never be caught door knocking. And you probably would never be caught being extremely successful at this business unless you spend a lot of money. Again, I always bash the other avenues because not that I'm ignorant to the avenues of lead generation that exist. I'm just so confident in my ways, you know? It's like the health and fitness trainer who's all about like eating right and exercise, and then you'll get in shape. And then you've got the other side of the spectrum that's like gastric bypass surgery and pills, you know, fen. And they're just like, yeah, I know it works, but you know, at what cost, you know? Can you predict it? Yeah, I mean, but is it healthy? Well, predictability doesn't mean health when it comes to generating leads. You can't predict if you dump, with Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, mailers, Facebook advertising, $1,000 a month does not guarantee that you are going to generate 2 to 3 leads a day. Door knocking and cold calling at the level that I'm doing it, absolutely I generate 2 to 3 leads a day. Every day I get someone who says, meh. The same quality lead that you might get doing the internet marketing, but in much higher quantities. And if real estate is a contact sport, quantity is king. Quality matters, but when you have so much quantity, you filter it. You do your follow-up, you do your kind of filtering. You make sure, you know, you put it through the funnel and see what comes out the other side. You throw as much as you can on the wall, see what sticks. You've heard that phrase? All of these things matter when it comes to generating leads. So don't get me wrong, I have a lot of crappy leads. And so do you. If you're spending money on them. They're all crap. Every lead's crap. It's all crap. But at the door knocking leads above cold call leads, because this is about door knocking versus cold calling. if I go out and call 100 people, speak to 100 people, I might get 1 or 2 leads. If I go out and door knock 100 doors, 25 people answer on that ratio, 25 people answer, I speak to 25 people, I might get 1 or 2 leads. So therefore, if I speak to 100 people at the door, I am more than likely capable of generating 5 to 7 to 10 leads. Here's the cherry on top with the door knocking cake. It is that the quality of the leads that you generate by the door versus the telephone are far better. At the door, you can see their face. Hi, my name is Agent Company. I was just wondering if you're thinking of selling your house. Well, not right now. You know, when you're on the phone and you see them, they're like, no. You can't see what they say when they go, no. But at the door, you can see body language. Body language being 90% of communication. On the phone, it's 0. From there, you're just listening for the tonality. If you guys are fans or followers of the Festini formula, you would know that the tone is everything. But at the door, it's body language, and you can read that stuff. You can see a hesitation in their voice. And as long as you've got like the aura, as long as you've got the glow, you've got the talent and the skill, and you're relaxed and you're casual and approachable and not offensive. You're not walking up with like, you don't look like a serial killer knocking on the door. If you're dressed professionally and your hair is clean cut, you got a good shave, and you smell good, and you know what I mean. You're not in jeans and some flashy like button-up T-shirt with like sparkly women's glasses and 2 earrings. You know what I mean? If you're not trying to be all flashy pants, pickup artist or whatever, you're not being smarmy, car salesman. As long as you're vanilla, but like the good vanilla, right? You're not like the cheap vanilla. You're good vanilla. I'm getting off the path here, man. I'm starting to inadvertently talk smack on some people. But the truth is that when you go in with your superior and precise attitude and approach at the door, and then they say no, or they go no, and you can read it, as long as you've got like that chemistry that you can exude casual, non-aggressive secondary follow-up question like we do on the phone. On the phone, it's like you think maybe later down the road, it's like attack, right? Because you don't have much time. They're like, all they got to do is this and you're gone. All they got to do is this and you're gone. Tap in the phone and you're gone. But at the door, it's a very different human interaction. People are not very quick to like give you the stink eye and close the door, especially if they're interested. And so if they go, no, not right now, you think maybe later, and then you can do the thing that I do. That if you were in the beast, if you had bought my course on Door Knock Mastery, which the links are probably below, if you got my Door Knock Mastery course, you would know the science of door knocking. I had some guy come into the room the other day, and I was telling him about like the mastery course, and he goes, "What's there to master? Going up and knocking on the door and asking a question?" I'm like, you clearly have not knocked on enough doors to know that there is a lot more than just going up and knocking on the door. There's a lot of it's a dance, man. It's like, what's there to dance? What's there to the tango? You just stand there and step your feet around. No, man, this is a ballet, man. This is the lambada. It's the forbidden dance. You can't teach it. So we go in there and we ask the question. You think maybe later down the road, as you're like stepping away, as if your body is saying, all right, man, I'll leave you alone. Columbo, but one more question. Do you think maybe later down the road you'd reconsider? I didn't say one more question. You think maybe later down the road you'd reconsider? As I'm like shifting my body to leave, so that unknowingly the NLP, the mirror and matching and rapport and connection and the human connection and the energy and the vibrations in the universe between me and that other person, they notice that I'm stepping away, so they put their guard down for long enough to say, well, my daughter is going to be graduating this year, and so we're going to be planning on doing. Oh, okay. What, do you have any idea what it's worth? Well, if you're going to talk for a second, maybe I have one more question. And then they say, well, we have an agent, or yeah, but It says too early or whatever. And then my scripts and dialogues will take you to the next progress. But then again, now we're back to the door knocking versus the cold calling. Which one's better? The quality of the lead at the door is so much better. The amount of time it takes to get a lead is farther and fewer in between. Another aspect of this is the psychological, the head games that you play with yourself when you're door knocking. They don't exist on the phones, at least not for me. On the phones, I'm impervious, man. I got so many things going on. I got YouTube, I got Netflix, I got, I'm stuffing envelopes, I'm talking to you guys, I'm chatting. I got so many things where I can't, like, the voices in my head can't talk to me and say, James, it's been a while since you've talked to someone. Isn't this like your second day in a row? You're not getting any leads, are you? Wouldn't you be better off wouldn't you be better off just calling? I mean, is this worth it? Really? I mean, what's the competition doing? Wouldn't you be better off? All of a sudden you're just like, I think I'm just going to go home and go to bed. And then that wave passes, then you feel better about yourself. And then suddenly you don't want to die. You want to keep going. But then what happens is suddenly you'll get like a lead at the door, right? When you start feeling like crap, all of a sudden you knock on a door. You think maybe later down the road, and they're going, yeah, actually we are, but we don't know what it's worth. And you're like, oh, well, I'd love to keep it. Hey, would you like to come in? And all of a sudden you're in someone's house from zero to presentation, right? People say, James, how many presentations you go on a week? Wow, if you count the ones that I'm walking into the door, but they don't list it, because it's kind of like the ones that a lot of these agents are doing. They're like, I set an appointment every day. I'm like, really? So that means you're listing 3 a week? No? Well, why are you walking into the door? What appointments are you setting? I mean, I suppose if I went out and picked up the phone and said, hi, my name is Agent with Company. I'm offering free CMAs. They're a valuable package. Would you like one today? Maybe I can do that. But I'm not out for free CMAs. When I go to a listing presentation, if I go on 3 to 4 presentations a month, I get 3 to 4 listings a month, right? If I go to like 10 presentations in a month, I get 8 listings. My list ratio at a listing presentation is like 99% of the time, because I've already done the pre-qualification. So on the door or on the phone, which one's better? My personal approach is that because I have a limited amount of phone numbers and an unlimited amount of doors, an unlimited amount of energy on the phones, but a limited amount of energy at the doors, right? Calories, back. I don't have a bad back, I don't have a bad body. But, 2 or 3 hours walking on the streets, knocking on doors, it does hurt, man. You get sweaty, you start to smell, right? You get thirsty, you have to carry water with you. I mean, there's a lot of factors that go into door knocking, which involve physical exhaustion. At the door, on the phones, man, I might get sleepy, but I don't get exhausted. At the doors, you think about it, man. Can you go out right now? If I said, hey, man, let's go for a walk, and you're like, okay, let's go. And then I told you it's a 3-hour walk, you'd be like, 3 hours? Hey, what are you? No way, man. I'll die. Well, that's what you're doing when you're door knocking. Not including like pivoting, stepping up the stairs, back stepping, hopping up on one step, getting down on a step, going up the curb, down the curb, walking up a driveway, down a driveway. I mean, it's a physically demanding exercise routine. So that's why I say 3 hours. Your first time you go out, maybe 1 hour. Second time you go out, maybe 2 hours. First time you go out, some people are like 10 doors, they're ready to die. Next day you do 10 doors, 11, 12, 13. Next thing you know, you're doing an hour. It really is a very, very athletic endeavor to take on door knocking seriously, because you will find that there will be a limit to your ability to knock. So my perspective is, I like to door knock 3 hours a day. I feel like with a 3-hour door knocking session, that gets me probably around the 100 that I need. And it's right around the threshold for where like I start to get tired. My back hurts a lot. I carry when I start off, I carry like a 30-pound bag of notepads, and my propaganda inside those notepads. Again, if you signed up for the if you buy the Door Knock Mastery course, It's $100, but it's a 2-part course. The first part teaches you how to make the propaganda. The second part teaches you what to say, how to say it, what to do, the walk, the dynamics, the NLP. What if a dog answers the door? What if a kid answers the door? What if a teenager answers the door? What if they're pulling in the driveway? What if they're walking in the driveway? What if there's no soliciting sign? What if there's a Ring doorbell? I mean, every possible scenario is in that Door Knock Mastery course. Body language, second follow-up questions, the drop, what do I put in the package? The first half teaches you how to make what to drop off. The second package tells you how to drop off and communicate. Dude, I spent so much time. I just don't release products unless I truly believe it's there. And although it's not Hollywood quality, I did do it in HD. It is very, 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 very good based on what I've heard from other people say. They're just like, yeah, this is legit. This will teach you how to door knock. And you get results. If you don't know what to say, you don't know what to leave, you don't know what to do, you get the Door Knock Mastery course. The link is below, the Door Knock Mastery course. And anyhow, if you guys have any questions, that is the answer. I try to do a balance between how many phone numbers do I have, because I run out of numbers. If I do too many calls, my database starts getting bad because I've called too many people. And if I do too many doors, my cold calling suffers. So I like to say I door knock 3 hours a day, and I telephone prospect around 4 hours a day. So a good healthy 7 to 8 hours a day of prospecting. Those are days that you don't have an appointment or a prior commitment. I can't imagine what else you would be doing. Many people are probably like, okay, I'm unsubscribing now from your YouTube channel because 7 hours a day of prospecting. Well, yeah. And when you see my results, then you'll see why I do it. Just check my stripes, see the results, check my 2018. 2018 is very exciting for me because it is just going to be like the culmination of a year, like a solid year in this town. Because I came here in 2016, in March of 2016. So I was leaving transplanting from one territory to another. And then when I came into this new territory, get my gears right. So 2017 was my stomping grounds. It got pretty tight, but I got like 20 sides. I think I'm gonna hit like 24 sides before the end of the year. I'm still good, like by any standard. That's still very good for the average price range of like 500,000. But when you go into like this next year, and I've upped my price range, 2018 will be like the first year where I can say I am truly in a second year situation in a brand new town. And it'll be like the first year will be me making an attempt to get myself set up. The second year will be just like into gear. Man, I'm done warming up. The stretch has commenced. I am flexible and I am strong. I'm picking up the phone and doing my telephone prospecting in the form of follow-up with those people that I've generated from door knocking and cold calling, asking that question, and now I'm following up and saying, are you ready? And they're saying, oh, James, yes, actually we were going to talk, yes, after the new year. I've got, like, off the top of my head, at least 20 people right now who say yes after the holidays. Do you know what that means? Do you have 20 people who say yes after the holidays? If you do, that'd be pretty crazy. I doubt it though, because I work very hard to get these people. And that's just 20 people. Right now in my database, as a result from cold calling and door knocking, my combination, which I truly believe is the best way to do it, if you don't want to spend a ton of money finding them, the best way to do it, I've got a database of probably, well, if I go right now and I click my follow-ups for the day, I'm probably at about 215, 220 people that I need to talk to right now. Right now. Like, if I could speak to all 220 of those people, they're not old expireds. They're not like internet leads that I got that never picked up the phone. They are people that at one time or another over the last year and a half in this town that have said very soon. How long can people continue to say very soon over and over before it happens? I've been planting seeds like mad. And I'm looking across the horizon and I'm starting to see fruits all over the place, like little buds popping off everywhere. As soon as, like, any minute now, I'm going to have more fruit than I know what to do with. And unfortunately, these podcasts and these blogs and these vlogs are going to suffer because it's just going to be pure presentation. I mean, preparing, prospecting, presenting. Preparing, prospect. The 3 P's will be in balance instead of pure prospecting. I mean, it is the last couple of weeks of the holiday, of the new year, right? We're coming up into the end of the year. What are you doing? What you haven't noticed, if you have noticed, is I have turned it up, man. You talk about, like, I've been in, 4th gear all year. You've seen me redlining. You've seen me do everything I possibly can to generate as many leads as I possibly can. And you thought, man, how could he do more? And then what happens? November kicks in, and you didn't know, man. I had a 5th gear. I pushed the flux capacitor. I hit the nitro. I don't know what sound nitro makes. I'll just go pew, and then the nitrous. I mean, you didn't know I could go faster, but I hit the red button, and boom, supersonic. I'm going for it, people. This last stretch of the last year, it is no better time than to right now say, hi, my name is Agent with Company. I was wondering if you had any interest in selling your house. Listen for the hesitation in their voice. See the hesitation with their body language. Do a combination of both. And when they say not right now, you say you think maybe later down the road. And they go, well, maybe, maybe not. You ask them, you think you know what it's worth. And they go, well, kind of maybe, maybe not. And you say, well, I'd love to keep in touch. And they say maybe, maybe not. And then you say, okay. And then you follow up with them accordingly. And before you know it, they're saying, oh yeah, for sure, we're actually thinking about it. Or because you're doing the follow-up through email or through old school snail mail, they call you and go, I've been getting your information and I think we're ready to talk. When can you come over? And you're like, bam. It's not rocket science, people. It is blood and sweat and toil. It is pure numbers game. It is predictable. That's why I like what I do. I have a lot of limitations in my universe. I'm not the smartest tool in the shed, but I know I can outwork any of them. I can out prospect any of my competition. I can out hustle anyone in this industry because I have sick amounts of tenacity and sick amounts of focus. And that is one thing I can control. I can control my future based on my ability to stay 120%. Well, there's only 100%. 100% focused on the task at hand, laser-like focus, dedicated and committed to do one thing: generate a name to sign on the line which is dotted. You hear me? So thank you for watching. If you guys haven't, please make sure you go to my YouTube channel and subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. I'm doing all my live stuff there now. So hit the little bell next to the YouTube subscribe button. There's a little tiny bell there. That means you'll get an alert, especially if you have the app. You'll see me live door knocking. You'll see me live cold calling. That's where I'm pushing. Also, if you don't have the time to watch my videos, make sure you go to iTunes or Stitcher or Spreaker Radio or wherever you listen to your audio podcasts. And make sure you go there and you can listen to these episodes and leave me a 5-star review if you have any questions or comments. This show is brought to you by one of the viewers who asked me the question, which one's better, cold calling and door knocking? And by the end of the day, I produced the video. It is my goal to produce a minimum of 5 videos a week, 4 videos a week. I'm doing the daily vlog if you guys are interested. For the YouTube crowd, just know I'm trying to figure out which one's better, the vlog or the video series. Just know that I'm putting out a ton of content. You pick and choose what you want. I'm going to thank you very much for watching regardless. I appreciate your time. I know it's super valuable. I'm hoping that I'm providing you enough content. All you've got to do is show your support in the minimum way possible, and that is liking, subscribing. You want to take it up a notch? Share. Just share it. You want to really take it up a notch? Go to my Patreon page and drop $5 in there and go, hey man, here's some Chipotle. Drop me some Chipotle money. You want to really get it? Well, that's where you step into buy my products. I've got the Door Knock Mastery course. I've got the Contact Management Mastery course. I've got my scripts online for sale. All the links are below. If you're watching on iTunes, I think I'm going to start putting the links inside of the show notes so that you can have access to all of that. And Snapchat. I'm still a very, very, very fond of Snapchat. So follow me on Snapchat. You just open up the app. If you don't have it, download it and hit the search button and look for Festini. Voila, there I am. Thank you once again for watching. Have a great day now. Get back to work.
This episode is brought to you by MojoSells.com. Expireds for sell by owners and prospecting solutions along with DNC compliance. It is my CRM of choice because I can set up emails and letters and follow-up campaigns to follow up more efficiently with the leads that I generate. Go to MojoSells.com and make sure you tell them Festini sent you. This episode is also brought to you by Spodio, the perfect door knock companion. Download the Spodio app today. You want more knowledge? Please find me anywhere you consume content. On YouTube, go to James Festini. If you want to listen to my content on iTunes, please leave me a 5-star review. Join the Festini Mafia at jamesfestini.com/training. There you'll find all of my products and information. If you like to make money, get back to work.